Alrighty, here we go with our math lesson today on Thursday. It's November 19th, and we're getting started on math. You're going to need both of your math books today again, and we're going to start in our Blue Dot book on page 86. 86. Okay. All right, so we have an example problem up here. We're still talking about adding and subtracting word problems, okay? So we have to read the problem in order to figure out what to do. And so let's read our example. It says Keisha's math test score is 95. John's score is 13 points less than Keisha's score. What is John's score? All right, so let's think about what we do know, okay? That's always easiest to start with what we know. We know Keisha's math score is 95. And we know that John's score is 13 less. So if it's less, it's going down. That means we're not going to add, we're going to subtract, okay? So if you start with a big 95 and his is less, you got to go down, okay? So we've drawn a number line here, just like we normally do. And our big number is over here to the right, 95. That's our big number. And we know it's 13 less. So I need to actually hop 13 across the top to figure out where I'm going to land. Because I'm going to go down 13. So if I'm at 95, I can go down 10, and then I land on 85. But I'm not done yet, because I need to go down 13. So far, I've only gone down 10. So I need to go down 3 more in order to go down 13. Well, what is 85 minus 3 more? Yep, that's right, 82. So John's score is 82. So he got an 82 on the test, okay? All right, let's go to our next problem. It says there were 22 people on a train. More people got on at the next stop. Now there are 51 people on the train. How many people got on at the stop? All right. So let's think about what we do know. We know there were 22 people on the train. More people got on at the next stop. It doesn't tell me how many more. But since I'm getting more, I need to add. And I'm not quite sure how many I'm going to add, so I'm going to put a question mark. I do know the total now. The total is 51. There's my equation. 22 plus something equals 51. If you want to put that in a number bond, so it's easier to see, we can do that, okay? 51 is my biggest number. It goes at the top. Okay, that's the total. Remember we talked about the total and the change. So here's 22 is the start number. That's what we started with. The total, the start, and then this is the change. We don't know how 22 changed, but we're going to figure it out. So I can figure it out like this. I could also turn it into a subtraction problem. 51 minus 22 would equal something, okay? There are lots of ways to figure this out, guys. You could do another number sentence. We've done tons of those. You could do base 10 blocks, okay? You could pull it apart. You could do the old-fashioned way. All those ways are right. Every one of them are all right. But you choose the one you like the best, okay? So if I pull this apart and I have 50 plus 1, I only have 1, and I need to actually subtract 2. So I'm going to pull it apart, but I'm actually going to trade a 10, okay? So instead of having 50 plus 1, I'm going to have 40 plus, and then I'm going to take one of those 10s and break it apart, and 10 plus 1 is 11. So 51 pulled apart is the same as 40 plus 11. 22 pulled apart is the same as 20 plus 2. And now I can minus. Okay? So 11 minus 2 is 9. And 40 minus 20 is 20. Now, see these two pluses right here? Well, you have to bring that down. So 20 plus 9 equals 29. So now we just solved it by pulling it apart. Okay? That's one method that you can use to solve it. It doesn't matter which method you use, as long as you get 29, and then our label is people, because we're talking about people that got on the bus, okay? Or a train. So sorry, not a bus, a train. All right? So go ahead and push pause if you want to get that written down correctly. Otherwise, we're going to the next page. There are 27 small dogs and 26 big dogs in the pet show. How many dogs are in the pet show? Okay, so in this case, we've got small dogs and we've got big dogs, but if we put them all together, we're gonna find out how many dogs we have in total. Okay, so in my number bond, I know I'm gonna put small and I'm gonna put big. I know my small dogs and I know my big dogs. Okay, so there are 27 small dogs and there are 26 big dogs. I don't know my total. This is the total dogs all together. That's the one I don't know. So if I want to figure out that big number at top, in order to make these get bigger, we have to add them. Okay, so we've got 27. If I pull 27 apart, it's the same as 20 plus 7. If I take 26 and pull it apart, it's the same as 20 plus 6. Since we're adding, we don't need to trade anything. Okay, we're just going to add. Okay, 7 plus 6 is 13, and 20 plus 20 is 40. Okay, now I'm going to add my 10s and my 1s together. This is actually the same as 10 plus 3. Okay, if I were to break that apart, 13 is the same as 10 plus 3. So 40 plus 10 is 50. 50 plus 3 makes 53. I'm kind of out of space, so I'm going to write dogs underneath. 53 dogs. That's how many dogs all together, okay? That would be our total number up here at the top, 53. And we solved that by pulling it apart, okay? All right. Liz makes 42 jumps with the jump rope. Tia makes 17 fewer jumps. How many jumps did Tia make? Okay, I heard the word fewer. When I hear the word fewer, that's usually an indicator that we're going to subtract, okay? We're going to minus it, get smaller, or subtract, okay? Liz takes 42 jumps with the jump rope. Tia makes 17 fewer, so we're going to minus, okay? Lots of ways to solve this. Number line, pulled apart, base 10 models. You could do it the old-fashioned way. How many want to do the old-fashioned way? I know you like the old-fashioned way. Let's do it, okay? Line them up and down, your 10s and your 1s, okay? Big hint today, we're going to have to borrow. That means I do not have enough 1s over here on top because 2 is smaller than 7. That's not going to work for me. So I'm going to go next door to my 4 and I'm going to borrow 10. Okay, so 4 goes down to 3. I'm going to give 10 to this side. So 10 plus 2 makes 12. So now I have 12 over here. And all I did was just cross these out and write the new numbers beside of them. Okay, what's 12 minus 7? Yes, it's 5. What's 3 minus 1? Yep, it's 2. So my answer is 25. That's answer C. Okay. However, we have a small little problem. Raymond chose D as the answer. This answer is wrong. How did Raymond get his answer? Well, when I took 42 and 17 and I got my answer, if I look at 42 and I look at my answer is smaller than 42. Okay, 25 is much smaller than 42. If I look at Raymond's answer of 59, if I start with 42 and he got 59, his answer is bigger. What do you do when you get a bigger answer? Yep. I kind of think add. I'm not sure if that's what he did, so we're going to check it, okay? What if Raymond said 42, 17, instead of minusing those? What if he added those? Let's see what happens if we do. All right, I've got them all lined up in the old-fashioned way. What is 2 plus 7? It's 9. What is 4 plus 1? I think that's what he did. So what would we say to answer this question? How did Raymond get his answer? Raymond added instead of, what was he supposed to do? Yeah, subtract. Instead of subtracting. There we go. Okay. Raymond needs to come to Rossville so he can learn a little bit more because we're super smart over here. Or Raymond. Okay, just push pause if you don't have all that written down so you can get it copied in your book. And then once you do have it copied, get out your yellow dot book because that's where we're going next. Okay, we're going to yellow dot next. And we're ready for page 99. 99 in your yellow dot. Okay. Up here at the top, it says Carlos sells 32 muffins at a bake sale. Sounds pretty good right now. Jake sells 25 fewer muffins. How many muffins does Jake sell? I hear the word fewer. Hopefully you guys know by now, fewer means less. And when you want less, you should subtract, okay? So I've got some number sentences down here. They want to know which number sentence can you use to solve the problem. You're going to circle yes if you can use it, no if you cannot. Okay, so each one you're circling yes or no. Before I do that though, I want to kind of figure out this problem. So that way I kind of know which number sentence is going to help me. So if I start with 32 muffins, and I know that Jake sells 25 fewer, I'm going to minus 25. Okay? That's my number sentence, 32 minus 25. Well, I have written it up and down. If I want to write it sideways, it would look like this, 32 minus 25. Okay? If, and that would equal question mark. If I think about fact families, I can come up with some other number sentences. Okay? So here's my first subtraction number sentence. I can write another subtraction number sentence by switching these two. Minus something equals 25. Now I can write two number sentences for adding. So I would start with 25 and I would add something and I would get 32. I want to come up with another number sentence. I would switch these two. I would say something plus 25 equals 32. There's all of my number sentences. We just figured this out because we know how to make fact families. These are the same as fact families, even though they're much bigger numbers. Okay? So let's look over here at A. I have 25 plus question mark equals 32. So 25 plus something is 32. Do I have that over here? Ding, 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 right there. That is a number sentence that can be used. So we're going to circle yes. 25 plus 32 equals something. Do I have 25 plus 32? I don't see that one. Because if I take 25 plus 32, I'm going to get a bigger number. And up here it says fewer. That's not going to work. Okay? Not going to work. Next, we have 32 minus something equals 25. Well, I'm going to come down here to my minus sentences, my subtraction sentences. And I've got 32 minus question mark is 25. I think that one's going to work. Yep. And then finally, I have 32 minus 25 equals something. And I have that number sentence as well. Okay, so those work. Some beads were in a box and used 17 of them. Then there were 56 beads in the box. How many beads were in the box to begin with? Circle the correct answer. Okay, I'm going to kind of move over here to this side. I'm going to draw my number bond. I know that there were some beads in a box. I don't know how many were in that box, okay? I do know that Anne used 17 of them, so they were gone. And now what we have left is 56. In order to figure out how many beads were in this box to start with, how do I get that bigger number on top? Well, I have to take this small number and this small number, and I'm going to have to add those together, okay? So I'm going to take 17 plus 56 to get my big number up here on top. Alrighty. I'm going to come over here and which way don't we do it? Let's pull apart again, okay? 56 is the same as 50 plus 6, and 17 is the same as 10 plus 7. I've just pulled it into tens and ones. Okay, now I'm going to add my ones. 6 plus 7 is 13 ones. 50 plus 10 is 60. And then if I plus those two together, this is the same as 10 and 3. So 60 plus 10 is 70. 70 plus 3 is 73. So my answer is B, 73. Okay. Apparently Dave and Raymond are hanging out because Dave got that answer wrong. He chose C, which is 39. Okay? How did he get his answer? Ooh, let's think about that for a minute. My answer of 73 got bigger. If Dave chose C, C got smaller than 56. My answer got bigger than 56. His answer got smaller than 56. Any ideas? Okay, let's try that. Let's try it and see. Let's just test it out. I heard some of you say that you think that he, instead of adding, he subtracted. Let's see. So you think he started with 56, and instead of adding 17, he minused 17. Okay, well, let's try it. I'm going to have to trade some 10s here. Okay, 6 is smaller and 7's bigger, so I need some more on this side. So I'm going to borrow one of these 10s. That's going to go down to a 4. Okay, I'm going to add 10 to 6, and I'm going to get 16. 16 minus 7 is, who said that? Yep, it's 9. And I'm left with 4 10s. 4 10s minus 1 10 is 3 10s. So if I put 3 10s and 9 together, I get 39. It's the same answer. Yeah, Dave chose C, 39. So what did Dave do? Dave subtracted instead of, what should he have done? Yep, he should have added. Dave subtracted instead of adding. Poor Dave. He's not as smart as you guys. So, alrighty. Pause it if you need to. Pause it if you need to. And we're going to take a look at the back. Okay, the table shows how many roses of each color a store has for sale. We have red roses, yellow roses, and white roses. How many more red roses are there than white roses? How many more? I think I'm going to have to start with the red roses, and there are 65 of them. And then white roses are 17. So in order to figure out how many more, we're going to have to subtract. Okay? When we do the old-fashioned way, I look at the top number and it's 5, and I don't have enough to subtract 7. So I'm going to have to borrow a 10. So my 6 goes down to 5, so that becomes 50. And I take one of my 10s and I add it over here, and I get 15. Okay? So 15 minus 7 is 8. And who knows what 5 minus 1 is? Yes, Austin, it's 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. So how many more red roses are there than white roses? There are 48 more roses, red roses. 48 more red roses. Okay. All right. The store has 43 yellow roses. Chin buys some yellow roses. Then the store has 29 yellow roses left. How many yellow roses does Chin buy? Circle the correct answer. Well, what happened is the store started with 43. Chin came along and he bought some. We don't know how many. So that's a question mark. We do know that the store has 29 left. That's your equation. They start with 43. Some go away to Chin, and we have 29 left. We need to figure out how many are left. Okay? You can solve this a lot of different ways. You could do the old-fashioned way like this. You can make a number line. You can pull apart. You can do lots of things. I'm going to try to do it in my head. Do you guys think you can do this in your head? Maybe. Well, I'm going to use this number, and I'm going to count up until I get to 43. Okay? 29 is really close to, yes, Raina, it's really close to 30. So there's 1. So if I'm at 30, how many hops would I need to get to 43? 30 to 40 is 10 hops. So I've gone up 1, then I've gone up 10. And how many from 40 to 43? 3. Well, if I take those numbers and I add them together, 10 plus 3 is 13 plus 1 is 14. And there's my answer. We just did that in our head. You guys are so smart. We did it by counting up, okay? And sometimes you can do it in your head. Sometimes it's a little bit easy. Sometimes it's a little hard. But basically, all I did was count up, okay? And it's really the same as a number line. In case you didn't quite understand what Mrs. Schaefer did, I started, here's my equation. I'll draw it up here a little bit for you. I started at 29 and I knew I had to land at 43 and I'm counting forward. So 29 to this one is 30. That was one hop. Then I get to the nearest 10 down here, which is 40. 30 to 40 is 10 hops. And from 40 to 43 is 3 hops. This is all that I did, but I did it in my brain instead of writing it down. And then I added those up to get 14. Okay, so by doing this number line, it's actually helping us get smarter by doing it in our brains sometimes. Okay. There are 23 solid shirts and 18 striped shirts on a rack. How many shirts are on the rack? Circle the correct answer. Guess what, guys? It's time for you to do it by yourself. Okay, Mrs. Schaefer's not going to give you the answer to this. I'll help you out. There are 23 solid shirts. So there are 23 solid shirts here, and there are 18 striped shirts here. They want to know how many are on the rack. So you've got, let me put this down. You got 23 solids, and you've got 18 stripes. They want to know how many they have all together. That's your hint. Okay. So do number 5. Email me your answer. Can't wait to see which one you pick. Good luck.